Hi, darlings. So I wanted to come on today because I've seen a couple of the creators do this video and I thought it would be fun. So if you could like start from scratch with your eyeshadow palette collection, what 10 palettes would you keep and then the rest would have to go away? So I thought it would be really interesting to do. I just saw Caitlin House Makeup do this, and then I've seen Batty Bean do this as well. So I thought it'd be fun. If you hear dinging or music in the background, that is because my daughter and my husband are playing Legend of Zelda. I can't believe she's old enough to play Legend of Zelda. Link's Awakening in the background, and they're having too good of a time for me to interrupt. So these palettes are not going to be in any kind of order. They're just what 10 palettes I would want to keep from my whole collection. Like if there was a fire and everything was burned into the ground and I could save 10, these are the 10 that I would save, okay? So starting off is the Nomad Cosmetics Haunted Europe palette. This palette has grungy, kind of dusty, grungy tones, pop of pink. It's got this beautiful orange type colors, these golds. I have gotten a lot of use out of this palette and I would 100% save it. But yeah, I just think it's got like this pop of mint, like shimmer here is really pretty. And it's just something that I reach for a lot. If you can tell, it's pretty dirty, but yeah, I just love this palette and I would 100% reach for this. Like, yep, this would survive. So, all right, next palette is my Lethal Cosmetics Night Flower palette. This has all the purples that I could need in my life. They're just really beautiful. I particularly like how these just like, let me just show you. I wasn't planning on swatching anything, but do you see this? It's like a really interesting color, but I just really love these, especially with brown eyes. Like if you have brown eyes, you know that like pinks and purples really kind of like make your brown eyes pop. But yeah, I just really love this. It's got from light to dark, and in the shimmers, it's got like a little bit lighter to a little bit darker. And then there's like these underlying blue tones. So the only way I could see this palette being better is if there was like, instead of maybe this one, it was an even darker purple. Like I wouldn't complain about that, but these are magnetic. So I can just take it out and put a darker purple in there. But yeah, this one would 100% be one of my top 10 to grab. Okay. So moving on, this is no surprise to anyone because it is my panning focus for this year. And it's the Onsai Hela palette or Gila palette. Obviously I have a pan in this already because I'm working on this and I've got some pretty good dips, but yeah, I reached for this palette a lot. I reached for it a lot before it was a panning project, but especially now I always reach for it. But yep, this would, just the greens alone. Chef's kiss. I can't actually do chef's kiss because I've got gloss on my lips, but you know. This next palette should also not be a surprise to anyone, and that is the Blend Bunny Cosmetics All Done Up palette. I have sung its praises since I started my channel, actually. This was my first video, but yeah, it's just a beautiful neutral kind of color story, and yeah, it's got light to dark and sparkles and midtones, and it's really nice. I can't wait to see if they're going to do any more of this size palette. I would love that. Oh my God, if they came out with an all shimmer palette that was like this size. Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, so another palette that would survive a fire if I had a choice or if I reset my palette collection would be the, I have a sticker on mine, but the Wilderness palette by Beauty Bay. Obviously, I've gotten a lot of use out of this palette as well, and surprise, surprise, the greens have the most fans. But yeah, this palette is like, it's probably my top 2 rainbow palettes ever. Amazing. I love the specialty palettes that they do, and I cannot wait to see them do more because Beauty Bay is inexpensive and it's good quality, and the shimmers are like sparkly and impactful, and the mattes are just well done in most cases. Sometimes from palette to palette they can be patchy, but I haven't had any problems and I love this palette. So, okay, Blend Bunny Surge, boom. We've got neons, we've got pastels, we've got darkers, and all of these would play together. And we've got some shimmers, which I don't think I've even reached for the shimmers in this palette yet, but whew, beautiful neons. True neons, like beautiful true neons. And yeah, this would have to come with me. I saw a thing on her post. I think that this palette and her blends palette are like her top 2 sellers, and I can see why. They're just really unique and they're really special, and they kind of fill a gap in my collection that like nobody else has filled, honestly. So yeah, it's cool. This would come with. Okay, moving on with the same thing, because you know, by now you know. Kaleidos Flower, I guess I could put this up like this, right? The Kaleidos Flower Punk palette. It's really interesting packaging. I've never seen, this is the first time I'd ever seen that kind of a packaging. And obviously this is well used and well loved and pretty dirty, but I reach for this a lot. I don't even think you can, I've reached for this so much and there's like hardly any usage, it looks like. So this would be quite a challenge to pan, I think, but yeah, I love this so much. This is close. It'd be close to my like perfect color story. Pretty close. So love. It's just so good. So good. Okay. Actually, the more I use this, the more I love it, but the less I love the packaging, if that makes sense. Okay. All right, friends. Next, surprise, surprise, is the Merry Christmas palette by Onsai. This is such a gorgeous color story. The more I use it, the more I love it. The quality is phenomenal. But yeah, this mint, oh, it's just so pretty. There's so much that I love about this palette, and yeah, it would make it. Throw it in the backpack along with the diapers. All right, and second, there's 2 left. All right, this is the Christmas Eve palette by Onsai. Like that, this whole release was just so good. And I know it's a sore spot for a lot of people, but it was and it is, and I hope they bring it back with maybe a different theming, or something similar, you know? But yeah, beautiful color story. The more I use it, the more I love it, and I would want it to survive a declutter, a massive declutter. So, oh no, I accidentally stuck my finger in the shade. Okay, the last palette on this list is actually on my eyes today. Am I not a fucking glittery rainbow princess? Oh my God. So, this is the Heather Austin and Adept Cosmetics collab palette. So good. Just love. I love this so much. You guys have already heard my thoughts on this palette. The more I use it, the more I love it. And I think that you can use, I don't know if you can use her code. You know, I don't know if you can use a code on this palette on Adept's website, but yeah, the more I try from Adept, the more I like them. And I'm really interested in trying one of their face palettes because like I love a good bronzer and a blush combo, especially like in a little palette. So yeah, but yeah, Heather Austin, this is on my eyes today. I absolutely love how this look came out. It deserves lashes, but I'm too lazy to give it to him, so. But yeah, here we are. And that's it. Those are the 10 palettes that would survive a massive declutter for my collection, or a fire, or whatever the hell else scenario you could come up with that's disastrous to your eyeshadow collection. But tell me what yours are in the comments below. And if you do this video, please tag me. I'm curious. Let me see what you love. And anyway, I love your faces. Thank you for being here. And if you made it this far, can you leave me an eyeball emoji? Because 1, it's a little creepy and I love that. And 2, I mean, it seems pertinent, right? Right. And thank you for subscribing and for being here and for liking my videos and all that other crap that YouTube says you should like put at the end of your videos to get engagement. But anyway, thanks for being here. Love your faces. Bye.